Welcome, I'm Bev Adams. I own an independent paper crafting business showcasing products from Stampin' Up. I made this quick card with products from Stampin' Up. I sell these products and also a few items to make crafting more convenient. I have the free detailed directions for this project on my website. You'll also see links to the products that I used. If you click those links, it'll take you to my online store at Stampin' Up. You will see where to find all of that at the end of this video, so don't worry about taking notes. It's time to put stamps, ink, and paper together. Stampin' Up! Has kind of adopted close to my heart products and also their demonstrators. As I understand it, one of their typical products is what they call two-tone cardstock. And so I've got two-tone cardstock here. So this is the Mossy Meadow, and the two-tone is actually printed. And so they can put a dark layer on one side and a light layer on the other. And then on the inside, it is white. I got the Autumn to Remember combination pack. And so it has all these lovely fall colors. These are all Stampin' Up! Colors. We do have some of the close to my heart colors, but as I understand it, those are going to be phased out. I'm not sure about that though, so if you're a close to my heart demonstrator and that scares you, don't take my word for it, but I believe so. But Stampin' Up! Has also let it be known that they plan to carry all of the Stampin' Up! Colors in this two-tone cardstock. So it's kind of neat. I wanted to kind of see what it was like, and I will tell you that when I heard the word cardstock and I saw it, it's not our typical Stampin' Up! Cardstock. It's thinner than that. It is thicker than most of our designer series paper. I thought I would show you some things that this is kind of fun to do with this. So you can obviously turn a corner over and kind of add an embellishment, whether you're working with a memory keeping page or a card. You can tear it, and so if you tear it up, it will expose that light core. And if you tear it down or turn it over, either way, you can avoid having that white showing if you prefer that look. You can also just crinkle it up, and I heard that this was described as making it like leather. I'm not sure that I think of it as leather, but it does have kind of a nice effect. And if you really crunch it up, the more you crunch it up, the better, I think. And when you open it up, it can have, let's see, don't think I got any cracks, but sometimes you can get these like cracks that make it look like leather. This paper does feel a little more brittle than our typical cardstock and designer series paper. One of the things that I found is that you can get sanding paper, and you can get sandpaper from the hardware store. I think probably 100 grit or 150 grit maybe. I got this sanding block from the beauty supply store in our town, and it's really nice because you can sand it and get really nice texture that way. And I think that's a great look myself. And you could also use like emery boards and that sort of thing too if you wanted to. Anything that's going to be roughing it up like that. I wanted to use the embossing folder, and when I made this card, it did crack quite a bit at the high peaks. I did sand it so it didn't crack as much as it looks like on here. I have 3 pieces that I can use on that same embossing folder to show you some differences. The products that I'm going to use are Greetings of the Season, and I'm used Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas has both in cursive and in print. It does come with the Greetings of the Seasons dies. I did not use the die for this project. I was really mainly wanting to do something really fast, so I used a punch. This is the Painted Trees embossing folder. It's in the September to December mini catalog on page 25. It's part of a suite. So if I just put a piece of paper in here, that two-tone cardstock, and I want to put the seam side or the fold going in first and roll it through, you get a really lovely deep embossing, but I think you can see that there is some cracks here at the peaks of those embossing. For this project, I did like that cracking, but you can also spritz it a little bit on both sides of the paper. And Stampin' Up! Is always actually recommended that you spritz things on those 3D embossing folders. I found I didn't really need to, but let's see what it does differently. By the way, when I'm spritzing, I usually just use Stampin' Mist. You can also use water and maybe a spritzer or any kind of a spray bottle, or you can use alcohol and it'll dry out faster. And I think that there's fewer cracks. I'm not sure, but I think that the embossing seems to be a little crisper and deeper. So that's kind of nice. To reduce the cracks even more, do the spritz again. And I have just a piece of copy paper that I'm going to put inside the folder. Let me do that again. So I'm putting it inside the folder and putting the copy paper on top. And this may reduce the embossing a little bit. I think it did. But it also really reduced, I don't see any cracks actually on this one. So this one was the dry, this one was the spritzed, and this was the spritzed with the copy paper on top. So depending on what effect you're looking for. So while I've got the machine out, I am going to put Mossy Meadow in. And trying to decide how I want to arrange my card here. So I did get the cracking. Bring it down again. By the way, I don't know if you've ever cut cardstock. Maybe your blade was a little dull and it was rough on the side. You can also use sandpaper to even off that roughness, and it does really a lovely job. But for this, I'm gonna rub and get some more of that white showing. And I'm actually trying extra hard to get some of all of the branches here. So I'm actually using the edge of this block. And you can use that more or less, up to you. And I'll use a little wink of Stella, because why not? And I'm just roughly brushing this over. probably won't show up unless I hold it closer to the camera. So let me do that for you right now. So I think you can see a little bit of sparkle from that. Can't tell. This paper is a little bit shinier, smoother than our regular cardstock. So all I'm going to do is make a label. For my card base, I'm using Old Olive, which is 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4, and a layer of this basic beige, which is quickly becoming one of my favorite colors. I'm using Mossy Meadow. And before I do that, I want to use this punch. This is the Modern Oval punch. But I kind of want to see how far, because I'm going to get this label from the middle of this layer. So I need to go up about 1/2 inch or more. So we'll go about there. That should do it. Just love that stamp set. And I'll punch. And I'll go ahead and put this on here. And we'll cover that up. Nobody will ever know that there's a hole there. You won't tell, will you? And it just needed a little bit of red sparkle. So I've got some iridescent discs, and there are Poppy Parade discs here. So I'm going to put some just kind of scattered around decorating my trees. Of course, if they were out in the woods, like it looks like they're growing, they wouldn't have decorations on them, but just adds a little sparkle if you were using it for your Christmas cards. And then I thought I would use some of this wild wheat striped ribbon. And I'm just using, like, I don't know, 4 or 5 inches. Folding it in half. Flagging those 2 ends. I'll put a little adhesive up here. And we'll put some dimensionals on the back of this label. And we've got really, I think, a lovely Christmas card that we put together really quickly. I hope you will try some of this two-tone cardstock. See what it does, see if you like it. Here is the web address where you'll find the free detailed directions and links for the products I used. I also offer lots of resources on my website. Click Shop to see the online exclusives, clearance items, my frequent shopper points, and the products I offer to make crafting more convenient. That includes a cardstock sampler for all the current Stampin' Up! Cardstock and samplers for the Stampin' Up! Cardstock going all the way back to 1997. Click Inspiration to scroll my projects. You'll find the directions all the way back to 2011. You may also want to check out the Basics button where I share about stamps, ink, and paper, card cutting, bases, and layers, and some of my favorite tools. Click Getting Organized to find lots of free resources like case inserts, labels for just about every product, catalog tabs, color tools, and much more. More organization means more time for crafting. Click Evernote Current Products to learn how you can share my Evernote notebooks. The Current Products notebook allows you to search every item by name, number, type of product like stamps, designer series paper, tools. themes like birthday, friend, baby, masculine, and even individual words. I also share a notebook with retired products going back to about 2015, and there's lots more that are older than that. Click Stamp Together if you're in Ventura County and come stamp at my house. You can also join my team if you're anywhere in the United States. And please subscribe to my YouTube channel and also to my website so you don't miss a thing. Thank you so very much for watching. Bye.